Hello, beautiful people. This is Cindy Presgraves with Real Estate Divorce Single Parent. And today I'm going to be talking about divorce. Why am I so passionate about divorce? Okay, I'm going to tell you a little secret. I've been divorced twice. Okay, I know. All right, yes, I used to not be proud of it, but I'm actually embracing it, okay? Yes, I know divorce is horrible, but you know what? It's totally worth it. Totally worth it, people. Okay, I know some of you are going through divorce, it is painful, you're crying. Hey, you know what? You might not even be taking baths for weeks. Okay, I understand. You know what? Once you receive the notification, be like, hey, we're going through divorce. We're like, what? Why? But I love you. Why don't you want to be with me? And, I remember like my first divorce was kind of easy just because, honestly, it had been like going through months and, there was a lot of things going on. And honestly, he was my best friend. We had been, it all started in Realty, my first ex-husband and I, and, he was my best friend and I really didn't want to lose him as a friend. And once he got commissioned, like I said, he's actually active duty in the military, Air Force. Okay, I have a thing for military guys, okay? Military guys, they're fit, they know how to talk to you, and they put you in your place. Sometimes. If not, you can sometimes walk over them. But the whole thing is, my first divorce, I knew when I married him, before I married him, I knew we were going to get divorced. And I remember telling him, and this is like on our wedding day, I don't give this not even 3 years. I was right because he was my best friend. And because he was moving from Puerto Rico to California, I didn't want to miss that. I didn't want to lose him as a friend. And honestly, I ended up losing a good friendship. And there's more things to it too. But, that was my first divorce. My second divorce, that one was a really painful one because it was a guy that I thought it was the man that I was going to spend my life with. It was the man that I had 2 kids. The one, he actually got a reversal for me to have kids with him. And that was very significant for me. Did I trust him in the beginning? No. Was there a lot of problems? Yes. Especially, co-parenting, he had kids and I did not understand that. I was not mature enough. And believe me, and if his ex-wife is listening to this, she was a monster to deal with. She was not easy at all. And it was not an easy marriage. And, everything I wanted, like, I really wanted to get along with her. I wanted to be friends with her, but that was never possible. And I wanted to see the kids. I'm still in the kids' life. After our divorce, I still keep in touch with their son and daughter and all that too. And, I still follow up because at the end of the day, they are my kids' siblings. They're half brother and half sister. And it was a very difficult thing because whenever he got ordered to South Korea, I told him, hey, you know what? We're going to make this work. Everything's going to be fine. We are strong. Nothing's going to be able to happen to our marriage. And it actually destroyed our marriage. We had always been together for the past 8 years from 2000, since ever we met each other, 2011 till 2018. And, we would count each other. He was a great support. He was the one that actually got me into real estate. He pushed me to do better. He always supported me. And I remember that he's like, you'll do amazing in real estate. And, he was my biggest fan, but things changed. I had a different attitude back then. I wasn't the person that I am today. And I'm very grateful for these experiences. But when it comes to divorce, I envisioned myself with him for the rest of my life. I wanted to grow old with him. I wanted him to retire. I wanted him to be a stay-at-home dad. While I was working and all that. And that was our goal. I wanted him to be part of our family. And, the whole thing with him getting into, drinking and meeting other people over there. And it was hard. I mean, the distance made it hard, and I wanted to go ahead and see him, but economically I couldn't. It was very expensive for me at that time to be able to fly with the kids, Armando and Julian, Armando is my 7-year-old now, and Julian is my 5-year-old. That back then I wasn't really making that much money. I wasn't really concentrated in real estate. And now it's just like looking at back all of these experiences. Yes, it sucked. It hurt. I was like, no, I want to win you over. I want to make things work. Let's go to therapy. Let's go. I mean, I was like to the point that I would do anything. And I still remember that I went to, like, he didn't want to be with me. He didn't want to be with me. And I'm like, no, you know what? If you see me, we can actually be together. We can save the marriage. We can work on things. But it didn't work out. And he actually still like tells me, you know what? You're the one who wanted the divorce. You wanted to move on. But when someone actually tells you, keeps on telling you over and over and over again, hey, I want a divorce. Go be with other people. And I can't do that. I honestly couldn't do that. And it was like, I couldn't continue with the verbal abuse and emotional abuse on a constant basis, especially when he was drinking that much. I wanted him to be there for our kids. I wanted him to be the man that I had married. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, he was a really good husband, really good dad. But there was things that we didn't need each other. And now I see some of my friends are going through divorce. And like the other day I saw on TikTok, and I found out that I had met this woman that, well, I would say an acquaintance, because we used to know each other back when I was in Minot, North Dakota. And she was deeply in love with this man, and she married him. She was crazy about him. She would do anything and everything. It was like, that was the only thing she saw. It was him. And they had, I think it was 2 or 3 dogs back then, and they still have those dogs. I found out that they're getting divorced. And he's in the military. She's a military spouse. And I try to reach out to her, but hey, you know what? It's a hard thing. It is a very hard thing. And I found out at another friend that they're getting divorced again. They're getting divorced. They hadn't even been married, not even 2 or 3 years. And I'm like, divorce is hard. And at times you don't want to talk about it because you're embarrassed, especially if it's your first divorce. Because you say, I do till the rest of our lives, but it doesn't always work that way. And I was looking at myself this morning, like there's a picture that I saw. I was getting ready for a Christmas party, a real estate Christmas party. And I looked at myself and I looked at my eyes, and I was in so much pain back then. I look at my eyes today and I'm like, I'm single and I'm genuinely happy. But it was a process of me healing and finding myself. So I'm telling you, if you're going through a divorce, or you're going through a tough situation, or you might be going through, a breakup, it doesn't matter. Move forward. It is okay to cry. It is okay to, not take a shower for 2 or 3 days. It is okay to, to give yourself time. You don't have to jump into another relationship. You're okay by being by yourself. It is okay. There's no need to be ashamed of. And yes, it is going to be hard because you get all these memories. You get the pictures, you get the memories, especially when Facebook sometimes posts like, hey, you know what? Hey, remember this 10 years ago? You were with this person. Like, oh crap, really? Shoot. And then you start crying. Or if you see, the smell, you're walking through an aisle, be like, oh, this is the deodorant they used. Aw. Or freaking coffee. Like my ex-boyfriend used coffee. I know he and I, we never got married, but we went through a breakup. But, divorce, breakup, anything that you're grieving through your life, It is okay. You're not the only person going through situations like that. And sometimes you're going to seem like you're the only person that has gone through that. And you don't want anybody to help you. You don't want anybody to know. But it is okay. It is okay to reach for help. It is okay to talk to other people. Some people might not understand. And some people will, because they've been through that situation. And some people will be like, oh, you'll get over it. Don't worry, you'll find someone else. No, I'm telling you, do not jump into another relationship. As soon as you get out of a relationship, you need time to heal. You need time to find yourself. Because when we get into relationships, at times we forget about who we are, who we really are. And the question is, do you want to do that? Or do you want to become the best version you can and have these experiences that have helped you become the person who you are today? Or would you rather victimize yourself and say, because of this person, I am this today? No, you gotta embrace it. And this is the reason I started Real Estate Divorce Single Parent. Because look, it all started with my hairstylist. He said, you should do a podcast. I'm like, I should do a podcast. And I started really quickly. But it all started with my ex-boyfriend. He said I couldn't travel with kids, that my kids will hold me back. I wonder, this has been the best year I've had in real estate so far. And I've traveled, according to my Delta Platinum status, I've traveled 43, 45 times. And then by the end of this year, I'll probably be 50 because I got to fly to Savannah next weekend. So with that, I'm telling you, embrace any situation you're going through, because no matter what you're going through in life, that is going to make you a stronger and better person. You might not see it now, but you know what? Later on, it could be 6 months down the road. It's going to make you you're going to look at the experience and be, oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Did I really go through that? And I keep on bringing up my ex-boyfriend and my ex-husband, because you know what? If it wasn't for my ex-husband, the support and all that he had during that time with me, he would have not pushed me to where I am today and supported me. I'm on a podcast, Julie Bear. Yes, we'll be running in a moment. Okay. Let me finish this really quick. So my son just came in. It's Sunday, by the way, when I'm recording this. I told him we're going to run 3 miles, but we're going to probably walk. But when I talk to my, I say that he was my biggest fan, my biggest support, because when I lost my job in one of the hotels in North Dakota, that actually broke me down. That was not an easy process, especially being laid off when I was in my 3rd trimester of pregnancy. I have a master's degree. I had this ego of me like, oh, I can't be down. Of course not. Anybody will hire me. I'm really smart. I even have international contracting, product development in Asia. But you know what? I got taught a lesson, a hard lesson I had to learn. And that was, it's okay to fail, but it's going to be your choice where you want to be at. If you want to continue moving forward or you want to stay where you're at. And this is where I actually continued, like, okay, I said, okay, I applied to those 500 jobs. I didn't get any job or anything. I even applied for being a flight attendant. PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, all of these, Home Depot, anything and everything. But it all came down to, I couldn't afford daycare. Being paid $12 an hour with a master's degree and then paying almost $1,500 in childcare. I think it was $1,500 in childcare on a monthly basis. That was not easy. So it wouldn't make any sense for me to make that and then returning and, paying that back into childcare. So is this just basically just me working to pay childcare and that's it. There's no gain there. So then I went ahead and said, I'm going to do my pastry chef degree. I want to do a bakery. But, when I realized after I finished my pastry chef degree, I did my internship at Chateau Lawn, and I was like, oh no, I can't do this at all. This is crazy. This is freaking crazy. I mean, me working 14, 16 hours, and at that time I had no idea I was going to go through a divorce. So I went back to the hotel industry, and I hated it. I freaking hated it. I couldn't do it. I despised it. And I was like, I can't do this. I would be in tears. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I couldn't do it. I didn't. So that back then I started selling Perfectly Posh, which is actually hand lotions and soaps. And my brother's like, Cindy and John, which is my ex-husband, he's like, why don't you just go ahead and just concentrate yourself in real estate? I'm like, but what if I'm not good at it? I don't want to be 100% commission. I mean, I don't know. I mean, especially as the market in North Dakota is totally different from the one in Georgia. And I was looking at like some of these houses would stay 45, 90 days on the market. I'm like, but would I be good? Is there enough real estate for me to sell here? So I actually I took my real estate test for 8 freaking times. Yes, make fun of me all you want to, okay? In my defense on this, the reason I took it 8 times, it was because I had taken the course almost a year prior for me taking the test and all that and going through the whole course. So that is my defense. And then I studied and I studied. I'm not a good test taker. That's another thing too. And sometimes I confuse English and Spanish. Let's just put it that way. But I am freaking darn good when it comes to determination and perseverance. I will not give up on you. If you decide to work with me or not, it's okay. I will not give up on you. But if it wasn't for my ex-husband and my brother, I would have not gotten into real estate. So, I mean, there's always a plan. There's always a plan of why things happen the way they happen. And like I said, if you're going through divorce, it might not be your time with that person. That time with that person is over. And, it's something that you might not want to hear, but we evolve as people, especially in relationships. You see these stories that, hey, like The Notebook, for example, let's put it that way, that this couple that they stayed forever for 50, 60 years, and it's to death do us apart. But what I've learned through my divorces, through life, is we evolve to become a better person. And sometimes that till death do us apart, it's not. It doesn't happen. We actually go through that experience because that's the experience that we're supposed to serve at that moment in time. But it's just like, the kid's dad. I mean, I don't know what might happen, but in this case, I know I outgrew him in many areas. Like, there's things I want in life that he doesn't want in life. Like, I want a 3-car garage. He's like, the house that you have is enough. And that for me is a closed-minded mentality, meaning that, hey, you know what? I want to buy more property in real estate. And for me, that is growth because I want to be able to have a passive income. Yes, I have different sources of income that comes around, but he doesn't see it that way. He's okay with having a 9-to-5 job, Monday through Friday, and that's it. I want to grow. I want to be able to, you know what? I don't want to be in a 9-to-5 job. Yes, I mean, sometimes I will work till midnight and I will work till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. But that doesn't happen every day. I got my kids to attend to. And my thing is, I want to be able to be comfortable, but I want to be able to say, hey, let's take a trip next weekend. Let's go. Let's go. I want to do that. So we evolve like people, but you also have to know what you want exactly in order to have that come to you. And don't get me wrong, you do have to work for it. But think about it. And sometimes we say we don't want to leave that person because we feel comfortable. We feel very comfortable. I mean, we know that person. You don't have to go through the dating scene. You don't have to ask people's DNA. Background checks. Did I mention background checks and DNAs? Oh my gosh. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. Maybe, probably. What is your address again? First name, last name. That's all I need. And you know what? A good FBI background check. I'm just kidding. Oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, and believe me, dating sucks. And, I really haven't dated because I'm not interested in dating. I'm just like, whoever is going to be meant to be is going to be meant to be. And my whole thing is, I got my kids. I enjoy them. I love traveling. And, I'm happy with my job. I love my job. I love inspiring people. I love making these little notes and writing down everything I have to. But was it easy to get where I am today? No, it did not. I mean, and I'm going to tell you, yes, whenever I went through my divorce the second time, I was like, I want to die. I freaking want to die. I don't want to live anymore. I'm like, I don't want to go through this. Why? And I question myself in so many ways. And honestly, like, I was so blessed and happy that I met Patty. Patty is one of, Patty and I used to be really, really good friends. And, if it wasn't for her, I would say she was my wife for that whole year, the whole year that I went to in during 2019, because it was a painful process. She was the one like, hey, do you want to do this? Let's go do this. Let's do that. And I would do that. I would hang out with her all the time. So you got to find that friend that is going to say, hey, get out of bed, take a shower. You stink. Oh my gosh. When was the last time you brush your teeth? And so those are the things that you actually have to think about. What are the things that you have been missing out? And I'm not saying, hey, missing out was like, are you having sex with everybody that you come in contact with? No. I'm talking about growth. Do you have someone that is going to help you grow and overcome these obstacles? Spending time with family is so important, especially if you're going through a situation like this. Not being by yourself. If you're watching Christmas movies right now, or you're watching romantic movies, oh gosh, you're going to be crying all the time. And especially if you have their cologne or things like that. Like, some of the things that trigger me at times is coffee and planes. And whenever I see the plane that my ex-boyfriend used to fly, he still flies that. I mean, or someone in a flight suit, it's like, oh gosh, here we go. Or someone in the Air Force. I mean, it's just like, ugh, and cricket powder. And, there's a time that I love unicorns. I freaking love unicorns. And it was hard for me to say, hey, you know what? I had to hide all the unicorns because I made it a very big part of our relationship. Unicorns was like, hey, you know what? Unicorns. I mean, every time I would go there, I would get a unicorn. I kid you not. And it ended up being a lot of unicorns. But those are things that I grew out of. I mean, do I get sad sometimes? I do. Do I wonder what he's doing now? I do. Don't get me wrong. But it was not meant to be. He was meant to be during that time. He actually helped me grow. And if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be who I am today. So my whole thing was, the Real Estate Divorce Single Parent podcast was to help me to grow and help other people. Because I know that if you're crying and you're listening to this and you're looking for some hope to get back with your ex-husband or your ex-boyfriend, you got to move forward. Because sometimes those are things that hold us back. And in reality, I didn't want to move to Japan. But I knew that in some type way of my career, he would actually hold me back. And I didn't want that. I'm happy here in Georgia. I love what I'm doing. but inspiring other people and helping them and talking to them about divorce and being a single parent, that you can actually do it and accomplish anything you want in life, and talking about real estate, it is more important to me than having a relationship with someone that is not going to be, it's going to be questioning me all the time, especially when I invest in properties, especially if I get involved in different projects and all that. I don't want that, you know? So I also have to mention here, I'm not an accountant or anything, but while I was going through my divorce, and this is going to be 2 years now that I'm going to be filing taxes, it is really important for you to, if you are a 1099 employee or W-2, then W-2 is better than 1099. When you're a 1099 employee and you have started into a 1099 position, you actually have to wait 2 years that you are a 1099 employee. And why am I bringing this up is because, yes, I've been a 1099 employee since 2018, 19, 20, 21, 4 years. Little did I know, my accountant back then, back in 2019, and this is things that people won't tell you, and I'm going to tell you, if you're still listening, please keep in mind, do not write everything off. And I'm going to throw you real numbers. Back in 2019, my accountant had filed with my taxes negative $13,000. I thought I was an S Corp. Last year, I found out that I thought she had put me into an S Corp, but I was not an S Corp. And I told her, hey, you know what? She's like, you should wait. I paid the price, and I'm still paying for it. So if you're looking to buy a house, or you're looking to getting divorced, or you're going through the process of getting divorced and you're a 1099 employee, it is really, really important. I'm almost done, papito, almost done. It is really, really important that you do not write everything off, that you actually have a type of income that will get you the house that you're going to be purchasing for. Don't do that. Stop. So that is really, really important for you. And these are things that we don't even think about, or even say, oh, you know what? Oh, I knew that. No. These are so important that it can actually put your life on hold, especially on wealth. And if you're going with wealth, make sure that you're not going to be writing off everything. Pay those taxes, pay off your student loans, pay off everything that you have to pay off in order to build that wealth. That is very, very important. So that is what I'm actually doing. I can't wait for January so I can actually pay my taxes and put my house into my name and then buy other properties. So that way I can hold on well. I can actually build my wealth tangibly, like assets, like actually, real estate assets. So what I've done in the past 2 years like this, yes, I don't have solid assets, real estate assets right now at the moment. But what I do have is I have liquid assets. So those I can definitely build. So that's what I've actually been building for the past 2 years. So now whenever I have those liquid assets, and next year that I file my taxes, I can be able to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 properties. My goal is to buy 10 properties next year. So I will have that in order for me to actually build my wealth. And I want to hit it hard. So if you're actually in the same, in the same boat that I was, make sure that you are actually saving your money, not saving your money in the bank, but invested in some sort of stocks or something. I'm not a stockbroker neither. I'm not a broker in that sense, but do your research, find people that can actually help you build your wealth. Liquid assets. So like I said, once you have those liquid assets, you go ahead and you're able to buy real estate when that 2-year mark hits. Yes, if you have to pay for taxes, pay taxes. It is okay. Because you know what? With taxes comes depreciation and comes growth. And you might not see it and be like, okay, why are you saying this? Yes, There's another podcast that I actually started with Matt Simmons. He has, I think it's 25,000 properties or almost 3,000 properties, 3,000 or 25,000 properties nationwide. And he is the guru of investments. I mean, and we can get into that later on, but I just want you guys to understand that divorce is not an easy process. Cry all you have to. I mean, like I said, if you have to eat all the chocolate in the world, but you know what? Make sure you walk after that. It is okay. It is okay. And you'll come out stronger than ever. And you'll look at it and be like, you know what? I know this was fine. It's okay. I mean, but you're an amazing person and you can go through this. So I just want to leave it there. This is Cindy Presgraves with Real Estate Divorce Single Parent. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Divorce. Have a wonderful day.